What is up, gamers? In this video, I'll be going over a ton of combos in Victor. This will not go outside of Victor, but you can use some of these in other decks. Mainly, Ashura Kaiser can use some of these combos as well. But this is all focused on what you need to know about Victor and Premium. If you are interested in building your own Victor deck, in the description, I have a guide on a ton of different cards and options, and how you can sculpt your deck the way you want it to. There's a ton of variety in Victor because it's not a very solved deck, and a ton of cards are viable to use. One last thing before we get started is to go over an important ruling within the game that doesn't really matter in most cases, but in basically most Nova Grappler decks, this ruling is very important. It involves the attack step. So you declare who you're attacking with, and then before the attack actually starts, there is a check timing of when this unit declares an attack, and then there's another check timing right after that, where you just finish all unresolved effects. So this matters in a couple cases. If you've been playing for a bit, you might have saw the Ethics Buster over Ethics Buster ruling interaction. Basically, because of this, if you ride Ethics Buster over Ethics Buster, you have to pay both costs basically instantly, and you cannot declare the second attack you'd get from the second ethics effect unless your Vanguard is standing at that point. So basically, before the attack resolves and your unit you're attacking with rests, you have to resolve all unresolved abilities first. And then if multiple units are trying to attack at the same time, so this happens with Merciless Dragon pretty frequently, then you get to choose who attacks first, and then go from there. I'll explain this more whenever it comes up within the combos, but this is something to keep in mind. And yeah, without further ado, let's hop in. So for this combo, you need Busted on your Vanguard, a Gyrohawk boosting any rear guard. So you attack with the Gyrohawk column, and then at the end of the battle, you'll do Gyrohawk skill, Countlast 1, move it to Soul. You will draw a card, and then this will stand with +2. And then Busted will activate to Soul Blast 1, flip up a G unit, and gain a drive. To extend on this, if you have Gyrohawk and Kachi Wall, and then one other rear guard and Busted on Vanguard, then what you can do is attack with your rear guard, then attack with this column, and then end the battle, Gyrohawk will activate, Combust 1, it will go to Soul, you draw a card, and this stands, Busted will activate, you'll Soul Blast 1, flip up 1, and gain a drive, and then Kachi Wall will activate, you'll go to the bottom, you'll stand another rear guard and draw, and then Busted will activate, well, you will Soul Blast a card and flip up a card, and that will be a total of 5 drives now, and you drew 2 cards. Next will be a combo with Adamski and Busted and a rear guard that can rest itself. So you will rest your rear guard, and then you will call Adamski down, do his skill, you Countlast 1, stand that rear guard, and then it'll attack. And then during the attack step, we will Soul Blast 1 and flip up a G unit, so Busted gains a drive. And then at the end of the battle, if the attack didn't hit, then it will restand. And then you can do Busted again to Soul Blast 1, flip up 1, and get another drive. Jack plus Riser Custom with Busted. So you will do Jack's skill to rest himself and rest the Riser Custom. They have to be in the same column also. And then Jack will restand from his own skill. And then Riser Custom will activate since something in the same column as it stood, he stands. And then Busted can Soul Blast 2 and flip up 2 and be at 5 drives. With Victor plus Brutal Jack, you can do Brutal Jack's skill to rest himself in another rear guard, and then Jack will restand. And then during your battle phase, you'll attack with Jack, and then you'll attack with Victor, and then do Victor's skill to Counterblast and Soul Blast, and restand the Brutal Jack, and this will be his second restand, so Victor will gain +1 drive. A potential strong grade 3 turn would be a board like this. You'll rest Jack and Riser Custom, and then Jack will restand himself and Custom will restand himself, and then Sazanda will activate, giving both the Jack and the Riser Custom +5k, and giving himself +10. And then whenever you start attacking, you can attack with Jack, and then attack with Victor, restand the Jack, it'll have triple drive, and then the Jack and Sazanda will both gain +5 from Sazanda skill. On your Asdabulk turn, if you have a Sazanda on your rear guard, then this turn gets a lot better. So you'll attack with this column, and then this, and then Sazanda. And then Asdabulk will attack, you'll do its skill to Counterblast and flip up a G unit, stand your front row, and then Azabulk will gain plus 15 for it. And then Sazanda will give 5k to all the other things that restand, and then 5k himself for each one you did stand. So since you stood 2 others, he gains plus 10k. For this combo, you'd want a Meleaki in your back row while you're on Azabulk, and then your units that aren't in front of the Meleaki to be restanders. So then you'll just go through the motions of attacking with everything first, and then you'll attack with Azabulk, do its skill to flip up a G unit, and then stand your front row. Then Azabulk gains 15,000, and then the Meleaki will give plus 4,000 to... What? Meleaki will then give the skill to Cool Hank that on attack you give 2 units plus 4k. And then you'll do your triple drive, and then you will attack, and then Hank will give 4k to 2 units, so we'll just give it to these 2. And then attack with one of your restanders, and then you'll discard 1 to restand. And then it'll get the Meleaki skill a second time. So whenever it attacks, it'll give plus 4k twice to both of them. So they'll each gain plus 8 for it. And then you can attack with this restander, discard 1, restand this, and now it has 3 Meleaki skills on it. And then you can attack and give plus 12k to himself. If you saved your boost till the end, then you can give plus 12k to the Meleaki also. And then you just gained a bunch of power for that. The combo with the Riser package is if you are in the early game and you want to be aggressive early, then you need a Laptria Razor in hand and a Counterblast. So you'll call the Laptria Razor, do its skill, to Counterblast move it to Soul, and call a Dual Flare from your deck. And then during your battle phase, you'll attack with Dual Flare. If you went first, then he'll be 12k. If you went second, then he'll be 15k. And then at the end of battle, he'll go to Soul, and your Vanguard will get plus 5, and then since you have no face-up damage, you countercharge 1. And then your Vanguard will swing for 14. If you have Brutal Jack and Meleaki in the same column, then you can do Brutal Jack's skill to rest them both, or rest something else if you need to, as long as you rest Jack. And then Jack will restand. Then Meleaki will give him the plus 4k power skill. And then whenever Jack attacks, he'll give 4k to 2 things. And then you can continue on from there. Combination of Honest and Furious Puncher. So you call the Honest, you do Honest skill to Soul Blast 1, rest him in the Furious Puncher to draw a card. And then you'll do Honest skill to retire him and restand the Furious Puncher. And then Furious Puncher can give 5k power to anything. Honest with Busted. So you will call Honest, do a skill to Soul Blast 1 and rest 2 and draw a card. And then you will retire Honest to stand a unit, and then you'll do Busted skill to Soul Blast 1 and flip up a G unit and gain a drive. For the vanilla variant of Victor, this is like a very average strong combo you can do. So you'll attack with Farmed Gaius and Jerhawk for 10k 2 crit, and then the end of the battle, Jerhawk skill will activate. You'll Counterblast 1, move it to Soul, draw a card, restand, give this plus 2. Then Winning Champ will activate. You'll Soul Blast 1, flip up a G unit. And then both Victor and Farmed Gaius get plus 5k for the turn. And then Sazanda will give 5k to himself and Farmed Gaius as well. So now Gaius is at 15k. And then every time you flip up a Cyclone, Gaius will have plus 5k more. So now he went from 3k 2 crit to 20k 2 crit. And the more restanders you have, the more you can do this. Next is Merciless Dragon combos. So for this one, you want 1 Counterblast, a Sazanda on the Excel Circle, and a Restander. So you'll attack with Merciless, do your triple drive, and then you will attack with your other rearguard, and then you'll attack with your Restander, do its skill to discard 1, and restand the other unit, and then Sazanda will give them both plus 5, and then Merciless will activate. You can Counterblast 1, discard 2 cards, and restand them with minus 2 drives, and then Sazanda will give himself a Merciless plus 5k as well. And then you can attack again with Twin Drive, and then continue from there. Okay, this next combo is a bit of a doozy. You want a rested rearguard, you want Merciless on Vanguard and an Adamski in hand, and then 2 other random cards in your hand to discard. So, this is doing main phase as well. So you will call down the Adamski, do Adamski's skill to Counterblast and restand the vested unit, and then before it starts declaring an attack, there is a check timing to resolve all other effects. So Merciless Dragon will be able to activate right now. So you will Counterblast 1 and discard 2 to get him ready to attack. And now we're at a point where there are 2 units trying to declare an attack at once. So the turn player, so you, get to decide the ordering of it. And then the Adamski effect of if the unit is stood doesn't hit stands becomes a triggered ability that happens at the end of its battle. So in order to do this the way we want it to, you want to attack with Merciless first, and then you'll do your triple drive, and then the other rearguard will then perform its attack, and if it doesn't hit, then it will restand, and then Merciless will activate where you can Counterblast 1, discard 2, restand, and swing again for twin drive. Now, if we go back and we attack with the rearguard first, then what will happen is at the end of this battle, it will restand, and then Merciless can activate again, but because of him not being able to stand back up, it won't work the way we want it to, kind of like the Ethics Buster rulings if you've seen them. So what would happen is if you do it again, so let's say we had 2 more cards in hand and we discarded them, then Merciless will swing, and then we will do our triple drive. And then at the end of the battle, the Merciless Dragon is rested, so it cannot perform that second attack we paid the cost for. So to do this properly, you have to attack with Merciless first, then the unit you stood off Adamski, and then Merciless again. Honest plus Merciless, you will call the Honest, you will Soul Blast 1, rest him and another rearguard, and then draw a card. And then Honest will retire itself, restand the other unit, and then Merciless will activate where you can Counterblast, discard 2, and then perform an attack during main phase. For Merciless plus Brutal Jack, you want to rest the Jack in something else, and then Jack will restand, and then Merciless will activate to Counterblast 1, discard 2, and attack during main phase. For this combo, you want Meleaki behind your Merciless Dragon, and then you'll want 2 Counterblast, at minimum 1 Counterblast, and a restanding unit. So we will attack with Merciless Dragon for 27. We will do our triple drive, and then we will attack with Jarahawk and Cool Hank. Then at the end of the battle, we will do Jarahawk skill, Counterblast 1, move it to Soul, restand Hank, draw a card. And then Merciless will activate from that, so we will Counterblast 1, discard 2, and restand. And then the Meleaki will give Merciless Dragon the skill that on attack you give 2 units plus 4k. So then you attack with Merciless Dragon and give 2 units plus 4k. For this combo, you want to stride in the favorite champ Victor with at minimum 5 cards face up in your G zone. For this example, we'll be doing 6. And then you'll have 2 Excel markers with 2 Sazandas in play. And then you have a full field and you have 1 card in your hand going into battle phase. So we will just attack with everything. So 14, 14, 16, and 27. And then we will attack with favorite champ. And his skill is at end of battle. So we will do our triple drive. And then we will activate his effect to Counterblast 2, discard a card, and then we stand a rearguard for each face-up card in our G-Zone. So in this example, we have 6, so we will restand 6 rearguards, and then since we restored 3 or more, we Counterblast 3, we discard 3 cards from our hand to restand favorite champ with -2 drives, and we countercharge 1. And the big thing to keep note is this is not once per turn. So your Sazandas will see each unit, including Vanguard, being stood. So he gives each of them plus 5k and himself plus 5k for each one. And then the 2 Sazandas see each other, so they will give each other plus 5k. So all of our non-Sazanda units gain plus 10k off of it. And then the Sazandas gain plus 35. And then we have 2 Counterblast ready as well, so we'll just attack with everything again. And then we will attack with favorite champ for 36 with 1 drive. We will perform our drive check. And then at the end of the battle, we will Counterblast 2, discard the 1 card we just drove check, restand everything again. and then Susanna will give all the power again. So this is the main way we can close out a game. The other card that does a very similar thing is with Drago. So you need to be at Generation Break 8 for this. So you will attack with everything again, just like in the Favorite Champ combo. And then Drago will attack. And then on attack, you will Counter Blast 1, stand all of your rear guards. And then he gets plus 5k for each one you stood. So you stood 7, so he gets plus 35. And then all your rear guards get the skill that the first time they rest each turn, they will stand. So then the Susannas will give plus 10k to all the things that just stood. Important to note, they give power to the booster to Drago, so Drago's attack will be boosted up as well. And then following up on that, we can attack. And then as soon as they rest, they restand. And then Susanna will proc on the restand and give them power before that attack goes into guard step. So these both gain plus 10k power again, and then they will attack again with that 10k power as well. And yeah, you just keep on going like that. For this combo, you want to be on Merciless Dragon with a Susanna, and then a way to restand something during your main phase. So we will do Jack's skill to rest itself and Ereshid, and then Jack will restand. The Merciless will proc. He will Counterblast 1, discard 2, and swing. For this combo, you want a way to restand a rested unit during your main phase. A Susanna on an Excel circle, and then Merciless Dragon as rest. So we will rest the Jack and Ereshid from Jack's skill, and then Jack will restand. Then Merciless will activate. He will Counterblast 1, discard 2, restand, and then start performing an attack. And then the attack step ruling, Susanna is currently on standby from the restand on Merciless. So before Merciless declares the attack, Susanna will give himself and Merciless Dragon plus 5k. And then Merciless will swing with that plus 5k. For defensive combos, for this one we have 2 heals in our hand and 3 open counterblast. So whenever the opponent attacks us, we can activate our G-Guard and go straight into Stiff Need. And then Stiff Need effect, we will counterblast 3 to draw 2 cards and gain 15k shield plus however many counterblasted damage we had before. And then on the next attack, we can G-Guard again into either Gundreed or Unior. If we do Unior, then we will instantly countercharge 2. And if we have no soul, we will soul charge 2. And then this can be at minimum a 20k shield. If we do Gundreed, then we'll flip up another G-Guard and then give our Vanguard the skill that at the end of each battle, if it was attacked and the attack didn't hit, you countercharge 1. So it's very situation dependent which one you do, but you can basically refund Stiff Need during the same turn you used it. For this combo, you'll need a heal and a Baryon in your hand. So you G-Guard into Gundreed, and then Gundreed will flip up another G-Guard and give your Vanguard the skill that at the end of each battle, if it wasn't hit, you countercharge 1. And then on one of the next attacks, you will Perfect Guard with Baryon, discarding a card. And then Baryon will let you Counterblast 1 and draw a card. And then at the end of the battle, since it's a Perfect Guard, the attack didn't hit, you will countercharge 1 back from Gundreed. So in essence, that just gave you a free Perfect Guard. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video was really helpful on getting you started on Victor and all the different things you can look at. If you have any questions for me, I'm on Twitter and Discord very frequently. My Twitter link is in the description, and I'm totally open to answer any questions about Victor or Nova Grapplers in general. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!